Hello! It is Inauguration Day. That is January 20th, 2021. It's a Wednesday. And my name's Vinnie, and this is The World According to Vinnie. Glad to have you here for another episode. I'm going to start out today. First of all, I always like to highlight a cigar. I'm smoking one halfway, but this one is, I don't know if you can see that, it's a CAO Pillion. A little Maduro wrapper, a little dark, nice flavor. I don't know what size, I didn't really do a lot of research, but I always like to start out with a cigar. Always a reminder, make sure you go to your local brick and mortar, pick up your cigars. It's always the best way to help your small business owners to do that. And of course, I always like to say that mine is the Office Cigar Lounge in Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, which is right across from Louisville, Kentucky. Great place. So go, if you're in the area, make sure you go see the Office Cigar Lounge. I'm going to start out with a quote. Government does not tax to get the money it needs. Government always finds a need for the money it gets. And that was Ronald Reagan. We sure miss that president. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about our soon-to-be president about just very soon. I'm doing this on Wednesday morning. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden is planning to cancel the permit for the $9 billion Keystone XL pipeline project. It's one of his first acts in office, is what he said he was going to do, and perhaps as soon as his first day, according to a source familiar with his thinking. President Donald Trump, of course, a Republican, had made building the pipeline a central promise of his presidential campaign. Biden, who will be inaugurated today, was vice president in the Obama administration when it rejected the project as contrary to its efforts to combat climate change. So in 2015, remember the Hillary Clinton story selling uranium to the Russians? Remember that? Oh, we can't forget a certain incoming president's son that works for a Ukrainian energy company and also received cash from the Russians. So should we expect higher energy prices? That's my question to you. I'm a little concerned about that. Well, next story. During former President Bill Clinton's testimony before a grand jury, remember that? His Oval Office shenanigans with a 22-year-old White House intern, Miss Monica Lewinsky. The philanderer-in-chief shrewdly said in response to a question, "It depends upon what the meaning of the word is." So the funny part in Apple CEO Tim Cook's case that he's talking a little bit, I guess he's talking about what the word that is. What's that? More precisely, in the case of Apple deplatforming the conservative-leaning social media site Parler, it matters a hell of a lot what Cook's meaning of that is when he says of Parler, "We don't consider that free speech." What in a world did Parler do? To first be removed from Apple and Google app stores and ultimately kicked off Amazon servers in a blatant effort to eliminate Parler. What did they do? Just allowed everybody to speak. They have liberals and Democrats, Republicans, conservatives. They just allow it to happen because that's supposed to be. We looked at the incitement to violence that was on there, and we don't consider that free speech. And incitement to violence is an insurrection. The incitement of violence that was on Parler. What violence? And now one Democratic lawmaker is suggesting that every guardsman who voted for President Trump should be a suspect. I think the last count was 12. They went back because those 12 people, I think, voted for Trump. There was probably a lot more. This morning I will be reading about this on my Twitter account, I guess, and people reminding people of Anwar Sadat, who were killed by their own people. Cohen said in a reference to two political leaders were assassinated for tasked with protecting them. So I believe he is, Congressman Cohen is from Tennessee. Just a joy, just an intellect. You can just listen to him many times. I feel sorry for Tennessee. How he became a congressman, I do not know. Put him on the list to get him out. He was thinking the National Guard is 90 some odd percent, I believe, male. Only about 20% of those white males voted for Biden. You got to figure that in the Guard, which is predominantly more conservative, and I see that on my social media, and we know it. There's probably not more than 25% of the people that are there protecting us who voted for the president-elect Joe Biden. The other 75% are in the class that would be be in the large cities of folks who might want to do something, he continued. And then there were military people and police who took oaths to defend the Constitution and to protect and defend who didn't do it. And we were in the insurrection. So it does concern me. It just doesn't stop, does it? One thing before I go to my next story, please subscribe to my channel, The World According to Vinnie, and I really appreciate you put the notification, hit the bell, and then you know when those are coming up. I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 a week. I'm going to try to do one on Sunday called the Sunday Fun Day Show, all fun stuff. So please do that. I really appreciate that. Now, here's another great story. Keeping us safe. Former co-anchor of NBC's Today Show, Katie Couric, ripped the Republicans in Congress who voted against impeaching President Donald Trump and certifying the 2020 presidential election results. All several of them wanted was to move it back to the state houses because there were 6, 7 states that were questionable. That's all they wanted to do. So she goes on, and she goes, and the question is, how are we going to really almost deprogram those people who have signed up for the cult of Trump? Kirk said that during the appearance on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher. Deprogram? She just goes on further. There's 147 Republicans in Congress who still don't concede that Trump lost the election. What do we do about people in our government who don't believe in our way of government? Maher asked. Well, all I know is in our government, you're allowed to ask questions. That's what we're allowed to do. I mean, let's go back in 2017. I mean, we have Hillary Clinton questioned it. All she did was question it. I mean, she has a right. Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, the list goes on and on. She goes on, Couric suggested that the GOP members of Congress might have colluded with the mob, claiming, quote, it is so shocking and only are they not conceding. Bill, there's thoughts that might have some collusion among members of Congress. Some are refusing to go through magnetometers or whatever you call them to check for weapons. Unbelievable. We're in crazy times. All I'm going to say is to all my Democrat and liberal friends, and really to the American people, proof's in the pudding, I always say. Let's just see what happens these next 4 years. I hope everything goes well. I mean, I've said before, President-elect Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, they're going to be our president and vice president. You got to, it's the office. It's not the people. Unfortunately, our people, in my opinion, the world according to Vinnie's thoughts is not very good. But we'll see what happens. Now, we're going to do some stuff, the news of the absurd. I always like to do that. Kind of make some things fun and lighthearted. So let's go. First story, January 11th, freshman representative Ashley Hinson, she's a Republican from Iowa, petitioned House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to stop distributing a Chinese communist propaganda paper to House offices on Capitol Hill, according to a letter obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. She was appalled that they received the China Daily, a Chinese state-controlled paper. In December, the China Daily breached federal laws by not disclosing how much they spend to publish its propaganda in prominent American media outlets such as the New York Times and the Washington Post. Are you really kidding me? That is absurd. We get a paper from China that's distributed to the House members. Nancy Pelosi, please. Good goodness. All right, let's do another one. This is a short one, but have you heard of the No Pants subway ride? Well, unfortunately, folks, it's canceled due to COVID-19. January 7th, the UPI reported that the organization of the No Pants subway ride, this is an annual January event held and on several cities' transit systems. They literally, I've seen a picture where they literally ride the subways and buses with just their underwear. Some of them are kind of scary. This has been going on since 2002 and organized by the Improv Everywhere. It's a performance art group. Man, I'm so sad that happened. Terrible, terrible. Now, last I'm going to go. Headline, WCBS TV. Squirrels have attacked residents of Regal Park for weeks now. Oh my goodness. The latest victim, Michelin Frederick, fended off a squirrel on the stoop of her home. Blood covers the snow in front of her New York home, and her hand sustained many puncture wounds from the little guy. The neighbors have hired a trapper. But as stated, these squirrels aren't just mean, the trapper stated. They are clever, and the traps remain empty. You know, this reminds me, I think that it's time that we call Carl. You remember Carl, the groundskeeper from Bushwood Golf Course from the movie Caddyshack. I guess his line then would say, "License to kill squirrels," would be his mantra. Carl was a great character in there. He was good in Gophers, but my goodness, Carl, it is time we go up to New York and stop the squirrels from taking over the citizens of Regal Park. That, my goodness, friends, good friends and family, that is absurd news, but true. Oh my goodness. Short day, going to do a couple more maybe videos this week. Appreciate you checking me out. You can see I got my red, white, and blue patriotic shirt because it is Inauguration Day. I did watch President get on the plane and leave, and I've already had Facebook posts, you know, that are saying bye and good riddance, and we'll just wait and see what happens in the next 4 years. The world, according to Vinnie, tells you this. And don't worry, I'm going to be watching daily of the fun that will happen from our new incoming president and his new incoming vice president. Can't wait. It ought to be just a party. This is Vinnie, and this is the world according to Vinnie. Please check us out. Hit subscribe. Share it. I need some subscribers. This is fun for me. I hope it's fun for you. Always going to have absurd news. Always going to have some news highlights for the day and the week. And anything I see that's just outstanding and needs to be told. You have a great day. Enjoy Wednesday. And this is Vinnie. And this is the world according to Vinnie. Take care.